Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So we got to talk about the number one event of 2025 so far, and that is the wildfires. And it's absolutely devastating. We all have family. I have my cousin. She is studying in Anaheim, and she is in direct impact to these said fires, of course. As these fires continue to go from Los Angeles County to Orange County, where Anaheim is located. And as we can all agree as Americans, this is devastating. This is horrific. But we have to ask ourselves, who is responsible for this? There's absolutely people that are responsible for this. And when we start to mention names, we have people that say, oh no, don't mention these names. No, we gotta stay unified. And I think we can all guess who these people are. Gavin Newsom, or Newscum, whatever you want to call him, and Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. They are the number one con bags that are being blamed for the said tragedy in Los Angeles. And you could say Orange County too, because as we speak, Orange County is kind of being affected by these horrific fires. We have to ask who should be held accountable. We know the liberal media has been up to something. They have been doing somersaults and gymnastics performances to try to get the Democrats to look better doing this, because they're not looking good at all. We have Mayor Karen Bass. She was in Ghana attending another president's inauguration, which isn't even her president. For some reason, she feels so committed to fly all the way to Africa to attend a irrelevant president, by the way, a president that has zero credibility, zero recognition, and no real performance on the world stage. She has to go and lift that president up like it's the biggest deal in the world, while her constituents are, I don't want to say dying. It's confirmed that only 24 are dead, but a lot are, most of them have lost their homes. The Palisades. And we gotta know where the Palisades are. The Palisades it's not necessarily a region. It is more, I should not necessarily, I'm blanking on it, a neighborhood. It's actually a region. And we could pull up the map of Los Angeles County. I can directly point out where the Palisades are located. It's pretty easy to, point that out. But let's take a look here. Right here, this slope right here, this is the Palisades. Right here. Okay? It's bordered by Santa Barbara County, and you could say, yeah, Santa Barbara County. There is absolutely no way that Santa Barbara County is not actually getting it's hard to say, but there's no way that Santa Barbara County is making out of this. Very devastating atrocity, because you got communities over here. Santa Barbara is, I want to believe, right over here. But yeah, it's still far away from Los Angeles. But it's coming. It is absolutely devastating. You got Anaheim. It's not like, sure, it's fires are over here. We could actually pull up a fire map. Los Angeles County fire map. So there are multiple different fires, as you can see. It's not just one big fire. You'll see there's the Palisades fire. This is the one we've actually been hearing the most, because the Palisades is a very rich area in California. It's where a lot of these celebrities live. But you also got other communities, like, of course, the Woodley fire. Yeah, so basically, Los Angeles is right here. It's not like the middle, like downtown Los Angeles is on fire, but a lot of these suburban communities, uh, that really aren't. And this is the Democrat grift here. They're saying, "Oh, don't play Karen Bass because Los Angeles is not even on fire. It's the suburbs," which they're right about that. The suburbs are their own independent cities, but then again, who is responsible for this? Karen Bass cut the fire bill. As you know, she got rid of the said water before going to Ghana. I think she'd get rid of the water, but she cut the said fire aid to said for this for this exact situation. There are now calls for her to resign, even along for fellow woke Hollywood actresses are saying, "Hey, yeah, you blundered it this time." As you can see, other counties like San Bernardino right here is impacted. There are some fires. Mostly, it's Santa Barbara is also getting impacted also, and I'm not surprised because you got the Palisades there. They're going through 1,000 Oaks. That's a community bordered right by the said Palisades in Santa Barbara County. But yes, you got those communities. You got communities going over here. There are fears that, they could possibly spread to Santa Barbara, a pretty populated city. You got northern Los Angeles County, pretty urban. Rural. Pretty rural over here. They're expanding this way. You got San Bernardino. Why am I San Bernardino, not San Bernardo? Okay. And then you got Orange. You could say Riverside is having some problems too. I think I see a little dot here, but Riverside's probably the county that's getting impacted the least. But yeah, you got Anaheim's right here. There's a lot of fires going this way and that way. This could be an outdated map. As of right now, these fires. No, here's another one. These fires are having very, very, very little control in these said fires. And the question is, we got to start holding people accountable. I mean, Gavin Newsom goes, "Oh, you're politicizing this." No, it's climate change's fault. It's not my fault. It's Trump and climate change's fault. No, Trump, rightfully so, came out and said, "Hey, you know what? If this doesn't get better, something like this is going to happen." And guess what happened? Something like this happened. And now we have the president-elect grilling the governor and the mayor of the said state of California and Los Angeles, saying, "Hey, look, you didn't take my advice." And then they go, "Oh, Trump, you're politicizing this. Trump, you can't politicize this. You can't do that, Trump. People are dying. People are losing their houses. You're politicizing an atrocity." Yeah, Guess what? People went after George Bush for his lack of concern of national security during 9/11, and rightfully so. In no situation should have terrorists flown into the American mainland and killed over 1,000 people. In no situation, and in circumstances like this, you gotta figure out, okay, who is to blame, who is responsible, and how can we prevent this from happening again? But even when you have something so legitimate like that statement right here, trying to figure out who is responsible, get them out of power, and actually put more competent people, the Democrats don't care because they're Democrats. Fellow Democrats, we don't want to go after fellow Democrats, right? Don't go after fellow Democrats, even if they're responsible for this. This makes the party look bad. And of course, the Democratic Party is already looking bad because of the stupid choices they are making lately. So obviously, the Democrats are in a bad place. Los Angeles is rising up against its mayor, and Gavin Newsom's career is basically tarnished. People ask, "Oh, will he run for president?" I think that's pretty much over. Look, first off, Gavin Newsom presidency would be devastating. California is falling apart. We need to recognize the reason why California is falling apart. Just take a look at this clown right here. Gavin Newsom's just a progressive cisshole walking around, and he's just lighting California on fire. In California, you can't even cut your own bushes. Why can't you cut your own bushes? Because bushes and trees matter more than people. If we had removed all these bushes from people's yards, and now guess what? We should have the right to remove our own bushes. But because we can't remove our own bushes, because the government will tax us if we do, big government, by the way, guess what's there's no wonder why houses are catching on fire. There's no wonder. Everything's on fire because, I mean, you have all these bushes everywhere going fire to fire, and these bushes will, most of them are aligned with the housing, and obviously the house gets on fire because of the bushes, the trees, and it goes to the other house. So obviously we care more about the environment, the bushes, and the fish. We don't want water because we care about the fish. And because California has lack of water, we have, because we think fish are more important than actual people, we're taking a pool, a plastic pool that little kids go in the backyard, and taking bath water and throwing it into the fire. Why is that? It's a wildfire, they say. It's a big fire. Well, guess what? Florida has wildfires. But very little do you hear stories about Florida and their wildfires. Why? Very little, because Florida has competent leadership. I know the progressives don't want to admit, no, Florida, Ron DeSantis, Trump, banning books, abortion. Well, guess what? Apparently, despite the whole social controversies, the Floridian leaders, they know how to actually lead when it comes to making sure their people are safe when it comes to these natural disasters, wildfires. Now, hurricanes are not really under their control. They're not, because unlike wildfires, which are absolutely preventable, hurricane is a storm, right? It's weather related. Oh, but a wildfire's weather related? No, it's not. I mean, it's dry, but that's not really weather. That's not. It's climate. Oh, climate change! No, this is also California. It's a warm, dry state. Same deal with Florida and the Sun Belt. So the difference between Florida and their hurricanes, it's weather related, right? Florida is a coastal state, complete coasts. It is also very southern. It's a peninsula. They are vulnerable to this. But Ron DeSantis takes immediate action to make sure that Florida is prepared for this. And of course, each hurricane is difficult and tragic every year, but we have to keep going. But Gavin Newsom, he doesn't really care about the wildfires. No. Fish are more important. We got to make sure that wild animals in the sea have water to swim in. We can't use the water in the coasts to put into our fire, to use for fire, to take out these fires. No way! No. And because we're not, we're having a very difficult time and taking out these fires. Now, it is widely speculated that Gavin Newsom will probably run for president. And like I've said, I hope he doesn't. And can he win? Well, I'll tell you, Gavin Newsom has been so destructive that the United States very well disapproves of him. And they're like, oh no, Gavin Newsom's a very good guy. Of course, he's handsome Gavin. He's like the Bill Clinton of the West or something like that. That doesn't change anything. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That doesn't change a thing. Like, you have so many options. And Gavin Newsom is just one of the options. He seems to be a likely contendant. You'll see. But looking at this here, J.D. Vance is defeating Gavin Newsom by like 3 percentage points. Like, take a look at, let's see, taking the YAPMS out, you'll clearly see percentage map. And sure, electoral votes could change over the course of time depending on districts. I doubt that will be the case. But Donald Trump basically carried all the swing states basically by what it's looking like. Okay. Just give me one quick second. He's carrying all the swing states by, of course, 310 electoral votes. That's 1 percentage point. He could have got a 2 percentage point like victory. This is not the map. Okay, we need 1 electoral vote from Maine. But this is pretty much this is the election results of 2024. Okay? The election results from last year. You'll clearly see that Donald Trump prevailed. This is a decent Republican victory map of a 1 percentage point, but what you'll see, Vance is trouncing Newsom by what's looking like another 2% win. I would suggest that Vance would get away with probably New Hampshire in this case. Minnesota, I'm not so sure would go to Vance. I do think I'm very concerned about Hennepin County and Ramsey County and the impacts that those 2 counties have in the said state. Those counties are shifting left every 4 years. Although the countryside is shifting more rightward, that gives more impact to Republicans there. But I'm just saying what it's looking like right now. New Hampshire, for sure. It's a very low taxation state. And you're seeing more communities going out and rejecting the far left lunacy in New Hampshire. You got maybe Grafton County right here. That's more influenced by Vermont. They probably have a university that's making it more woke. But you got Sullivan County right here. It's having a hard time going rightward, but it did go for Trump. You also got Rockingham County, Carroll County, very populated counties. They're going more rightward also. That's going to be beneficial to Trump. Sure, Kamala Harris won this said state by less than 5. But you know what? It being influenced by Vermont, what I was concerned was that states like Massachusetts, Vermont, and even Maine would make New Hampshire a state that's kind of hard to win. A very hard territory for Republicans to pick up in the future. And of course, I had a feeling 2024 was going to be a different year. It was going to be very close in New Hampshire. But of course, it went to Kamala Harris. Will this be the same way in 2028? Will it become a Vermont? Well, I'm thinking, let's see, the state has a Republican governor. It looks like that Republican governor is doing a very good job. There's also the 2026 races. We'll see how New Hampshire plays in this world. But I do think it'll reject Gavin Newsom. I mean, it did vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, if it votes for Kamala Harris, it will probably vote for Gavin Newsom. Well, when we are getting numbers like this, though, take a look here. 2028, we're getting numbers like Vance defeating Newsom by 2. I think it's a 2%. You got 36, 35, 36, 37, I would say, to almost 3 points. You could possibly say, oh, Minnesota, something like that, or New Hampshire. Oh, you could say New Jersey. I want to say maybe Minnesota, but this is what I would assume would look like. But I don't know. But the question is, can Gavin Newsom win the primaries? Looking at the Democratic primaries, you got so many different options. My predictions for the Democratic primaries, I know it's a very, very, very early, and people are going to go, oh, why are you doing a primary prediction now for Democrats? I mean, I've seen Democrat primaries altogether. Kamala Harris looks like, of course, she is going to, okay. We need to find where's the primaries? I know there's primary polls. Okay, this is ridiculous. I think there are polls, but it seems that she is so far allegedly going to win the primaries. I mean, Democrats and Kamala Harris supporters can only hope that Harris will eventually, this of course lead the recognition, and that this would ultimately become, of course, a Donald Trump win. They're like, oh, Kamala Harris will win the primaries like Trump did in 2028 or something like that, in 2024. But here's the thing. Kamala Harris is not going to be prosecuted. I mean, never know, but Donald Trump was persecuted by the government in order to try to get him to drop out. He was allegedly going to go to jail. So there is overwhelming concern in regards to that. And ultimately, what ended up happening, that boosted Donald Trump's chances in winning that nomination. People rallied around Trump, and that ultimately helped Trump win the nomination. Ron DeSantis was beating Trump around this time, like in 2021, 2022. And then right when the persecution began to happen against Trump, boom, snap of the finger, things began to change. So ultimately, Dems have a lot of choices. But I'll tell you, the Democrat Party scenario is not looking good, because you already have the woke base of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party members, they're saying they want Harris to run again. Oh, we need Harris. And can you imagine if the Democrat Party rigged the primary against Harris? The whole party would implode. And they choose some guy like Roy Cooper or J.B. Pritzker, Josh Shapiro, or Andy Bashir, Pete Buttigieg. They choose these white male guy. They would go crazy. You rejected the black woman! Now, if they choose AOC, maybe they'll be okay. But then again, I don't think they would let AOC run again, too. I mean, she's too far left. I don't think she's going to go pick up independents. Maybe Gretchen Whitmer? Or Westmore? But what about Gavin Newsom? I cannot find the Democratic Party polls, and that's frustrating. I literally thought I saw them. Timeline, 2028 United States President. I want to see the polls. Period. And it looks like we are not going to find them. That's frustrating. But if I were to take a guess, Gavin Newsom's best chance if performance, he could possibly win in Utah or something like that. That would be my guess. let's see if there's a 2028 Democratic. Okay, well, we're just going to jump. There we go. Now it brought us to the presidential election. This is ridiculous. But this is opinion poll. Okay. Okay, I found it. There. Okay, it was all the way down here. But you'll see Kamala Harris has a double-digit lead, and obviously this is subjugated to change. She still has some of that Kamala Harris momentum in that party of hers from that 2024 election. But eventually, who knows, that could possibly fade away. We never know. But ultimately, what it's looking like is Kamala Harris will win. But who comes in second place? Well, December 11th, it seems Pete Buttigieg surged quite a bit in betting odds for that nomination. Gavin Newsom at 7%. He's kind of held at 7%, 8%. He's holding on to single digits against Josh Shapiro, more moderate. Tim Walz, 1%. He got 18% or percentage points or other. But honestly, it's not looking so good for Gavin. But this is what I would describe my prediction to be. Harris would carry every single contest as of right now. I mean, generally speaking, this is subjugated to change. This is 2025. But I'm just saying, if the nomination was today, I think Harris would have that momentum to carry. But obviously, people are going to distance themselves more from her, if the 4 years progresses. But this is what it's looking like right now. Harris carries every state except 3. Newsom looks like I'd expect him to win in Utah. Then again, I think the more of the Mormon population is more loyal to him. The Mormon Democrat. A lot of Utah Democrats aren't even Mormon. A lot of Democrat Utahns are not really religious. Actually, they don't really affiliate with a religion, and they seem to be more loyal to Newsom. You also got Michigan and Indiana, the former home states of Pete Buttigieg. I was playing with the idea of giving Buttigieg Iowa, but and then again, I think Harris did pretty well with the Democrats. They were very loyal. The Iowan Democrats seemed very loyal to Harris during the 2024 election, although they didn't show up though. But what do you guys think in regards to this side of video? Let me know down below. And as always, see you all in the next political episode.